I think this is the biggest factor of all of them, and I'm pretty passionate about it because I think a lot of people are going to stop reselling because of this particular thing. Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, welcome to the cabin. It may not seem like this to you, but it certainly does to me. We've been away for a little while. Put the store on vacation mode or on time away mode. Had some really good sales though. I think I have 64 things that are going out of here. So I got a little bit of work to do today. I'm not gonna do all those today. We'll split it up into 2 videos because there's a topic I really want to talk about. I don't often give advice on here. I just kind of show you what I do, and you know, y'all can give me advice. But I feel pretty certain about something for resellers like you, like me. I think this is the time. This is kind of like a make or break time for a lot of resellers. And I think that this particular thing, or a couple of things, couple combinations of things, are going to really change the landscape for reselling in the next year to 2 years. So I want to talk about that a little bit. But I've got a ton of great sales. We'll do 4 or 5, then we'll get into that one in just a minute. Let's take a look. Pepper's already at my feet. I think she missed us. Thanks, by the way, to Commonwealth Grandpa for looking after those critters while we're gone. And I lied. It's 6 items we're going to do before we talk about that topic. And then we'll revisit it at the end as well. So Corona Extra hat. Picked this up in Arizona for $1. And it didn't sell for much. I don't even remember. Let me go take a look. Well, it's over $12 plus shipping, so you know, we'll make 8 or 9 bucks profit on that one right there. So I'll take it. Easy shipper. Pepper's in here begging for treats again. She got one. That means she won't leave me alone still. All right, let's see if I can find it. Blue Ridge Mama sold some silverware. This is the second part of a lot she bought. This is all pure profit at this point. Hampton or something, I don't remember. And you know, $10 plus shipping. Sold a PS2 game, a PS2 Spider-Man 2 game. And as you can see, we have tons of games listed. Thank you to Erica. All right, she did some video games for us, so pretty good. Pretty nice having her around doing a few listings a day for us. So that's cool. PlayStation 2 Spider-Man, $10 plus shipping. All right, I messed that Spider-Man up, $11.50 plus shipping. And sold a Dr. Seuss right here. Been hanging out for a while, hanging on to this thing. And only into this for less than $1, so 50 cents is what we paid for this one at a yard sale. And it's, I think that's right. I think I remember that yard sale. And it sold for, this is Cat in the Hat, and it sold for $10 plus shipping. All right, cheating again. Too short to get up there with this camera. So I think this one went to a viewer. It's hard, I can't remember. It's been so long since it sold, since we put it on time away mode, but Ryan, if you are a viewer, thank you. And if you're not, thank you anyways. This one sold for $35. Free shipping, brand new with tags. Did you miss us, Pepper? Say nope, but I missed those treats. Hey, we have an Animan going out. This one's going out to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I didn't see you leave a message, but I appreciate it. And we certainly hope he gets things moving for you. You know, I haven't said that near as much as I used to say that, because we just try and do 1 a show instead of, you know, if I put them all out there, they'd be selling, you know, 20 a day. It was crazy for a while. Literally, we were shipping out 20 to 25, sometimes 30 every single day for like a month. And so we kind of made the show a little boring, but we still have some left, and we're going to put them out on auction from time to time. The reason I'm saying all this, for all you've been around for a while, is you're probably thinking, what in the world is he talking about this for? It's because we have so many new people coming into the show, and the people coming over from Facebook too. So we appreciate you all. And Elizabeth, I appreciate you. Thank you. And I hope he gets things moving for you. All right. As you know, if you're a reseller, there are a lot of things that have already happened. You know, I think of, it seems like it's a distant memory where we used to have everything processed through PayPal. and that stuff, it didn't happen that long ago, right? Most of us did that transfer over this year. So that kind of stuff has already happened, but I think there are some other things. I'm going to mention a few really quick, but then I'm going to get to the one that I want to talk about because I think this is the biggest factor of all of them, and I'm pretty passionate about it because I think a lot of people are going to stop reselling because of this particular thing. And if you understand what's going on, you may be able to capitalize on it. in certain ways. So there's other things that I think are important as well. Like, I mean, there's more platforms to list on, obviously, and they're becoming more competitive. And then you have the multi-platform listers out there, the different companies competing to be, who's going to be the one who makes it easy, efficient, cost-effective to list on multiple platforms using one service. I think that is key. It's big as well. Just the minor things like obviously dealing with inflation we've talked about before. The increases in shipping. Is there going to be innovations in that space? How's that going to work? How's brick and mortar going to do? Competing against resellers that are shipping out through third-party shippers and stuff like that. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that I think are going to change this. There's other things. I have American Arbitrage up over here, and I know Dave, NC Picker, and Philly Flipper, and Tim over the years, and I think some other folks are getting into it, Cernock and OBX Picker, doing the whatnot auctions. I really don't think, I don't want y'all to get mad at me. I don't think that's going to be the future of reselling because there's just a limited amount of people who can do it. But I do think those things like that are going to have an effect on resellers. But there is one particular thing that I want to talk about for just 2 minutes. All right, the topic I want to talk about is taxes. And everybody looks at this as a total negative, and I kind of get it, right? When the government cracks down this 1099K thing and reducing the levels to 600 across all platforms. I've heard a lot of people like, well, Facebook's not going to make, trust me, all platforms, everybody's going to do this. So if you sell more than $600, the IRS is going to know that you've sold more than $600. So everybody looks at that as a negative, and it is, of course, to some degree. However, for those people who have been doing it correctly, for those people who have been well over the $20,000 limit that used to be on there, and they were already doing these things, I think it's going to be a huge benefit. I actually think that there are going to be less resellers next year at this time than there are right now. There's going to be less. And I think this is the reason. So if you and if you're out there, if you're a hobby seller, and I know a lot of people who watch are just hobby sellers, a lot of people aren't sellers at all. What I mean by hobby sellers is, you kind of think it's a fun thing, but you're not really doing big bucks here. You might be selling $1,000 worth of stuff a year. You might be selling $5,000 worth of stuff a year. We're actually making good money to help you kind of make ends meet, to go on vacation once a year or whatever. I don't know, some people who do that are paying their taxes the way they're supposed to pay their taxes. Some people know they're not going to get caught because they're not getting 1099K, whatever it is. I'm not criticizing, I'm not critiquing, I'm not blaming, I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking about the realities of what's coming right at us. I know there's a significant amount of people out there that have always sold under $20,000 and they've just never bothered with paying taxes. Now, I'm not telling you that's the right thing to do, or it was the right thing to do, but I can tell you that let's just hypothetically say that 10% of resellers are in that category. How many of them are going to now be faced with a choice of doing the same amount of work and making, 25% less? If that's the case, are they going to still do it? And so I think that the number of resellers is going to come down a little bit. It's not going to be like overwhelming, but I think it's going to come down. And I've got some anecdotal evidence to prove it. Now, I've been doing YouTube for a while now, and I get messages from all kinds of people all over the place all the time. And one of the messages I get from time to time is, hey, I'm not going to be selling on eBay anymore. I'm not going to be a reseller anymore. Would you like to come buy my inventory? And, it's intriguing. And sometimes I've done that to some degree behind the scenes a little bit, or at least connected those people with people that I knew would buy, because I'm not going to drive, 800 miles to go look at your stuff sight unseen. But I have done that. Matter of fact, I have one set up to do that. I have got 3 times as many people ask me that question this month in the last 30 days than I've got probably in the last 6 months. And I know that has to be a factor, along with some other factors. Some of the other factors might be the fact that the labor market, the job market is so good right now. There's a lot of places people can get jobs if they want them. I think there's a couple other factors that are pushing reseller numbers the other way. The number of retirees, simply because the baby boom generation, they've retired and they're finding a way to make a little extra money. That has pushed the numbers up. I'm not so sure if that's going to continue with these new tax laws. I don't know. I imagine it will for some. And in all honesty, another factor is people like me on social media platforms that make it look really cool to resell. even though we all know, if you watch this channel, you know there's quite a bit of work in it. And let's just think about this for a couple of seconds here, and this is why I'm talking about it. Let's just take, not even a hobby seller, let's just take somebody who's like moving, and they, you know, what am I going to do? Have a yard sale, or am I going to try to get some money for the, how you doing, Pepper? Am I going to try to get some real money for what this stuff is worth? And I'm going to sell it on Facebook Marketplace, or I'm going to sell it on eBay, or I'm going to do whatever. Well, it doesn't take long to get to 800 bucks. And so if they understand that, you know, what is it then? If you're going to go through the hassle, all of the things, keeping track of your mileage, keeping track of how much you're spending on an item, all those things that are factored into what we do as resellers, all of that, if you're going to go through the trouble to resell, let's say $2,000 worth of inventory, and you're not really a reseller, then you're going to have to pay taxes on that and go through the hassle of filing it and doing the C and doing all the stuff that goes on with that. Is it worth it, or would you rather take a quarter of the money and just get rid of it all in one day at a yard sale? You know, there's different factors, and I think people are going to be willing to sell where in the old days, last year, they would rather go ahead and try to get the biggest bang for their buck on a reselling platform. Now it's just not worth it. So those are some factors, and I think we need, as resellers, to position ourselves by knowing the taxes, by having a great way to keep your records, by doing everything you can possibly do legally to keep your tax liability down. Because the more your tax liability is over what it should be, the less likely you are to continue reselling, because it's just not worth it. There's a lot of work involved in it to begin with. Now, I've avoided talking about this for the most part for the 2.5 years I've been on YouTube, and for good reason, right? Because, you know, if I don't really know something, I don't want to talk about it. And I've spent a lot of time, you know, I've been doing my own taxes for a long, long time. I've been doing these deductions and keeping the spreadsheets and whatever. It's gotten a little bit harder, obviously, with all that's going on now. But I've always felt like I knew what I was doing. So I'm trying in this last year, I spent the last year and even the last month really trying to educate myself on ways to completely understand every benefit and every tax cut and tax break I could find, and make sure that I'm not paying too much, and to put myself in a position to capitalize on the people who are just going to quit, and to put myself in a position where I can take on inventory and maybe make a little bit more money. And I want to talk about that a little bit more at the end of the show. And if you hang around to the end, I'll give you a few, I'm not going to call them tips, I'll just tell you a few thoughts that I think for some of you who are kind of new to this game, right? You haven't been doing this for a while, really need to think about, and you really need to think about it in the month of January before it gets too overwhelming. All right, the Homeschool Hustle store had a bunch of sales. I pulled some out, and we'll bring Turner in for the last couple here. And two of them I don't think are to viewers, these two right here. But just in case, this one went to Jamie. It's the Chloe Secret Life of Pets. I think it was on sale for like $6.50. It's back up to like $9 in the other store. And this one, the Funshine Care Bear, that we got at the 100 Mile Yard Sale for $1, I believe. Or no, not the 100 Mile Yard Sale. We got that at the Highway 127, world's longest yard sale, sold for $14 plus shipping. And these two were to viewers. Marianne and Stephanie bought Ernie, and then all three of the Pets keychains. Gonna read Stephanie's message really quick. Hey there, I'm just trying to help you guys clear out the Homeschool Hustler store. Thank you, I appreciate that. So at this point, everything that was listed over there is starting to be transferred over to our store. So Blue Ridge Mama's been working on that. She hasn't got too much of it done, but she's got a few done. And I think you'll see the rest of that stuff come over pretty quick. I watch every single Flipper episode, but I usually watch it on TV, so I don't comment much, but I have gained a lot of knowledge from your videos and honestly find them a peaceful getaway from the craziness of the world. I love how you and the entire family and the canines and the cats and everybody else gets involved. Wishing you a prosperous new year. So to everybody out there, I hope you're having a wonderful new year, start to your new year. And I hope 2022 is awesome for all of you and for Stephanie. Thank you. Thank you, by the way, to Marianne as well. Thank you for the kind words about me and my wife. I sold a sports bundle, and it's a PS3 sports bundle. So I used to sell, well, I still do, I guess, sell sports games, you know, kind of low-end games in my antique booth. Well, we've decided we're going to shut one of the three booths down, just simply for time. So I ran an experiment here on these. I'm like, you know, because we put $1 or $2, $3 on these in the booth. I'm like, how much could we get out of this lot? Not much. $9 plus shipping. There's a couple of items that went out together, and Sandra was the name. I didn't see a message, but I'm thinking it's probably a viewer. This is Penelope right there. Isn't that the cat that's in love with a skunk? Do I have that right? I think that's right. So Penelope with the tag right there, and a hat back here that I thought was awesome. I picked it up for next to nothing at a yard sale that was way overpriced on everything else in North Carolina. And this, I put Fresh Prince in the title because I saw a lot of people had used that sold theirs, because it's the kind of hat you'd see Will Smith wear in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I guess, or maybe DJ Jazzy Jeff. Didn't clean it. There it is, just like that. Paid like 50 cents, maybe $1. And these two combined, this we're into, I got half price, but I don't know what the original price was. I'm going to say $2 for this, $1 for that. So $3 going out for $32.95 together. And they are going to stay first class. I'll probably bend it just a little bit in a box and put them together, and they're going to stay under 16 ounces for sure. $32.95 plus shipping. By the way, that is a totally unbranded hat, so no brand in it whatsoever. All right, the Tupperware bin, and this is a black, I just put it in here, Tupperware, I don't know, container. It's a newer type version, and believe it or not, this thing sold for $15, 15 bucks, and it's pretty light, so I'm thinking maybe 8 ounces it's headed out. So we'll make a little bit of money, probably paid 50 cents, maybe a quarter, maybe $1, I don't know. All right, I moved this item over here because it was selling so fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 2 today, 4 tomorrow, because they're all sold. All of them have sold. These 2 happen to go to viewers. I think maybe 1 more is going to a viewer that I'll read on the next episode. So if you're bored of hearing about this book already, then you won't have to after next episode. There you go. $8 plus shipping on that one, or $9 plus shipping. $8.99, I think. All right, so the first one's going to Troy, Mountain Man Treasure, out there in Montana. Helena, I think, right, Troy? You settling in for that long Montana winter and gonna do some reading, I assume? All right, thank you, Troy. I appreciate it over there at Mountain Man Treasure. All right, the next one's going out to Josh, and he says, you know, you don't have to read this. I just wanted to tell you this. I'm like, well, that makes me want to read it. Because I don't read everything, y'all. I apologize, and I certainly can't answer. Do y'all see some of those comments over there on Facebook? I've been posting them because they're hilarious. They're so funny. But nonetheless, we'll read this comment here from Josh. Thank you for all you do. You have been an inspiration to me and have taught me so much. I look forward to the day I'm able to resell full-time. Been in law enforcement for 14 years, military as well, 17 years. You helped me show that I could work full-time and do this to help my family. So I did do that for quite a while. First 2 years on YouTube, we were doing both, burning the candle, boy, at both ends, and the sides for that matter. I just wanted to show my appreciation for all you do. So thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Thank you for your service. We really do appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy the book. All right, Turner, this is your last official sale out of the Homeschool Hustler store. Mm-hmm. And the rest of your sales are going to be out of the CommonwealthPicker.com store, no, they're not. That's Reagan sales. They're going to be out of the Commonwealth Picker eBay store. And this one went to a viewer. It went to Misha. And I got to meet Misha when I went to South Carolina to the Prison to Profit conference. So anyway, that was really nice of Misha to do that. Will you say thank you, Misha?
Thank you, Misha.
And I'm going to show you. This is Misha right here. She's probably mad I put this up. But this is Misha right here. She has a channel, but as you see, she's slacking. Got to get those videos posted there. Anyway, she was really, really kind. And that was really nice of her. And she didn't leave a message. So I'm embarrassing her anyways. And she got something out of the CommonwealthPicker.com store that Reagan's going to talk about a little bit, along with a bunch of other folks. Thank you, bud. And wait, well, we got to do this one more time out of the Homeschool Hustler store. Definitely enough for you to do what?
Save $1, spend $1, and donate $1.
You got it, buddy.
Bye.
I sold a North Face jacket, woman's jacket here, size medium. It's got a little pilling in it, but we bought it pretty cheap, and this one sold for $20 plus shipping. Sold some cream and sugar lip gloss, Mary Kay. And this one didn't go for much, $8 plus shipping. 2 Jerry Garcia twisted radio waves headed out the door. And I don't remember how much they went for together, but maybe, I'm going to say like $15.98 plus shipping. That's totally wrong. I just made it up, FYI. Maybe I'll screenshot. These right here sold for $6. Pinballs. They're pinballs. And they sold for $6. 6 huge whole dollars plus shipping. Real quick, I had on my list and I forgot. So I got a little bolo for you from the viewers that told me I missed it on the last garage sale video. And they told me I missed like 3 things, which I agree with 2 of them. Well, I agree with 1 of them. 1 of them I saw, I just didn't want to deal with it at the time. And then the other one I thought wasn't going to be good because it was in terrible condition. But there's a couple parts I could have parted out. But you can go back and watch that video. If you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. The other one is something that I was intrigued by. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's tree bark camo, just in general. It's not a brand or anything. It's the type of camouflage, but it's TRE bark. So is that, I assume it's tree bark, except for you'd think there'd be an E in it, but tree bark, I don't know. Somebody can correct me. I'm from California, y'all. I'm not a hunter. I kind of wish I was to some degree out here where I live, but I just isn't how I grew up. I grew up in Southern California. So at any rate, that was a good one. And I started to look it up and I found like, man, some of this stuff goes for pretty good money. And looking back at the video, I missed quite a bit of it. But you know what? You win some, you lose some. All right, I got Reagan back from Nashville. Did you like Nashville?
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, what was your favorite part about Nashville?
Ooh, I liked going to Miranda's bar.
I don't take my kids to bars, I guess I did take it in there.
And I did a back handspring, and I got the drummer's drumstick.
The drummer gave you the drumsticks because you did a back handspring. Yeah, and then we had to get out of there because minors weren't allowed after 8 o'clock or whatever.
I liked going to eat.
You like going to eat?
Going to different places to eat.
Yeah, it was fun times, huh? And I liked meeting Ray from Nashville Flippers, and he gave us a mug while I was there. So thank you, Ray. Hey, and since we're doing this, Bad Cat Coffee Company mug's still over there. BadCatCoffee.com. All right, who you got?
Misha, Veronica, Andrea, Sean, and Matthew.
All right. Well, thank y'all very, very much. We appreciate it. There's Misha right there. Say hey to Misha. And y'all left some kind messages here. I've been writing down lately where people are from. Veronica's from Modesto. That's in California. Bellingham, Washington for Andrea. Mississippi for Sean. And Matthew says he bought the stickers from me, Reagan, because he feels bad whenever you say, what do you say?
Don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
And he doesn't get it, so this time he did. Thank you.
Bye.
Almost forgot a thank you to Jeff and Sierra for getting the plans for the Commonwealth Picker shipping table over there on CommonwealthPicker.com. And thank you to Matt. ABC Matt Breaks, y'all. See that? Look at this. He's got his own baseball card. Maybe I need my own baseball card. I'd rather have like my own VHS. Just a VHS cover. What do you think? Put my face in the middle of that. That's pretty cool. Keychain. That's an awesome card, by the way. I like that. It's got a YouTube channel. See that? What else you got here? Instagram, YouTube. Awesome. Thank you very much for the kindness. I really appreciate it. And good luck. Good luck to your YouTube channel. Good luck to all of your enterprises here. Thanks, Matt. All right, really quick, I'm going to give a couple thanks to a few folks over there who did buymeacoffee.com/Commonwealth. That was very, very kind of you, and I'm going to tell you thank you in just a second. But I do want to talk about just a little bit what I've done in the past for record keeping when, there were years. I've been doing this for 21 years, and, sometimes at the beginning, obviously, I wasn't making much money. I was a high school history teacher and a baseball coach of a varsity baseball team. I mean, had kids and whatever, So a lot of those years weren't, where I was making. Some of those years I wasn't grossing over 20K. Most of them, I think, certainly lately, for quite a while now, definitely way over that number. Way over that number. And obviously in the last few years, pretty good bit. So I have always kept track. I had a spreadsheet. My uncle gave me a spreadsheet. The very early years, the first couple of years, going way back, I was selling so little. I didn't even think about taxes. Like, taxes, what are you talking about? I'm making $800 here. But in the last, decade and a half or so, I've been keeping track on a spreadsheet, inputting every single item. Cost of goods, selling price. I used to manually enter the data for PayPal and eBay fees and and I would manually enter all your expenses, how much I paid in bubble wrap for the year, how much I paid in boxes and tape, in paper, literal paper that I would use for printers. I counted everything and it was all inputted in that. Every mile I went on yard sales. I wrote it down in a little book. I mean, I was hardcore. Now, obviously that became a little bit more difficult as you ramp that stuff up, and as your life gets busy, it's hard to manually do these things. And so the last couple of years I used some software. So, and I'm not giving any of these as suggestions. My only suggestion is figure out, if you're not doing it already, if you are, I don't need to tell you anything, is figure out a way and figure out how you're going to do it and educate yourself in what you can write off and what you can't write off. And I'm obviously over the next few days, because I've used, you may have saw Mark, Not Your Dad's CPA, up on the screen. And just full disclosure, I work with Mark personally. And I am going to have a link and all that stuff. I don't want you to use it right now. I just don't. Because he's going to give a discount for those of you who might want to. But everybody doesn't need this. You know, everybody's in a different spot. I'm going to suggest a couple of ideas and things for different people. But my number one suggestion is to educate yourself. And I will suggest him, because he's putting out really good videos that go right to the point, and they're directed right at resellers. They're not just tax videos. They're directed at our community. And I think it's a really good idea to go over there. And, you know, if you do want to use these links and go to his academy, there's different things. There's a free guide. There's a paid academy, and there's links and discounts and all that. But really, that shouldn't even be a thought right now for a lot of you. It should just be, I'm going to educate myself first, because there's simple ways to do this if you're just selling, you know, a little bit of merchandise here. You know, there are different things out there. There are free spreadsheets out there. I know Justin RVA Flips used to put out a free, I don't know, he probably still does over there on the Facebook group. And Ginger Marvin, I know, has a free one as well. I know Hustlin'. I'm not associated with any of these folks. By the way, I'm not getting any money or anything like that. Just as a FYI. Mark, however, on the other hand, there is going to be a link later on down the road. I know Ginger Marvin has that free one. Hustlin' Hooks has, I think they have two versions, if I have it right. And there's like a basic version and a more advanced version, and I've heard good things about that as well. I don't have an affiliate link with them, but I'm just putting it all out there because I think it's that important that people educate themselves. I would even, before I'd even get any of the free ones even, I would go out and educate yourself and watch videos and really, really understand what you can do. And I also want the people who have been out there for a long time to put their input. If you've been watching this show for a long time, put your input in the comments below. Maybe help answer some questions that people might have, questions I get all the time. And the long answer for me is that I used to input on a spreadsheet, and I think that that's the best way for most people. But I have changed my mind as I have grown larger and larger as far as sales on eBay and other platforms, especially other platforms. I mean, you're getting all these different 1099. It's too much for me to keep up with. Even the buying of merchandise, when you're buying massive amounts of merchandise, which I didn't used to do, but now occasionally I do from time to time, it's getting a little hard. So I moved to GoDaddy, and I don't have links. I don't get money from GoDaddy, anything like that. I moved to GoDaddy a while back, and I've been using that. But even that has become a little bit of a task for me with all the other stuff that has been going on. So I think for some people, if you get big enough and you're selling enough to make it worth your while, you're going to save more money by investing money in people. And so some of you out there who are huge resellers, way bigger than me, have been doing that for a long, long time, talking about LLCs and all the S-Corps and all that stuff. For the most part, that's not going to be what most people need. But you might as well go out there. Knowledge is power. You know, I was a teacher for a long time, and that was the big thing. I didn't care. I'm not trying to influence people either way, but what I do think is important is that you know everything that you need to know before you start making moves. And the time is now. I mean, it's January, so I would suggest to get that education as quickly as possible. I am learning every day about different things as well, because my situation changes from day to day and month to month and from year to year. So anyway, I could ramble on forever and ever, and I got to give a thank you. And I will talk about the other things. You know, there is that link down below. It's already there, but really don't use it. How about that? Don't use it. Because there'll be a cheaper way to get it than getting it through my link. And I'm going to tell you the cheaper way to get it. So at any rate, all right, here we go. I got the wrong sheet. I got to say thank you to some... Oh, it's right here. Sorry. All right, just made this a long video, didn't I? Thank you to Matt over there. Buy me a coffee. Thank you, Matt. He went on about forgetting about the haters and TikTok and Facebook. Trust me, all. I don't. It doesn't get under my skin at all. I just think it's great topics of conversation, and I think that we as a community can all relate to it to some degree or another. So I use it kind of as fodder on Instagram, especially. But thank you very much for your generosity. Very, very kind message too. Thank you. And someone gave 12 pieces of the shed, 12 coffees. And I don't know who you are because it says someone. And that was very, very kind of you as well. And I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you next time.